Hey, what's up YouTube? Welcome back to Intuition. I want to start this video off by congratulating all of you who have matched into a pharmacy residency program. It's definitely that time of year again, and I know that a lot of you are excited to have matched into your respective program. But in this video, I want to talk about why I chose not to do a pharmacy residency, and hopefully this will provide some insight for those of you who are considering pursuing a residency in the future, or for those of you who just want to learn more about the field of pharmacy as a whole. So when it comes to my pharmacy experience, I went into pharmacy school with the intention of going as far as I possibly can go. I've always considered myself to be a self-driven, lifelong learner. So when I decided to pursue a certain path, I want to take it as far as I can, all the way to the top, because I just want to continue to learn as much as I can about my field of study. So my intentions were definitely to learn as much as I could in pharmacy school and go on to residency, where I can continue to learn more and contribute to the field. But I did not do that. And why did I not do that? I have 5 reasons why I chose not to do a residency. So let's talk about them one by one. The first reason why I chose not to do a pharmacy residency is that the clinical courses in pharmacy school were my least favorite courses. First year pharmacy school was all about the prerequisites of science. First year you're learning a lot of chemistry, biology, and physiology. And these are strong scientific courses that should help you make sense of your clinical courses that you take later on in pharmacy school. Now, these science courses were a lot of fun to me because science gives you a strong foundation to develop a reasonable understanding of how things work in the real world. But in pharmacy school, the clinical courses were hardly linked to the science courses that you learn early on. I expected in pharmacy school for the clinical courses and the science courses to ultimately be connected. And I was very much interested in learning the connection between the scientific principles and the clinical outcomes. But in pharmacy school, the way that those two courses were taught, they were completely separated. A lot of the clinical courses were just guideline and memorization heavy. Sometimes the teachers will link the clinical outcomes with the physiological principles, but that was hardly the case. A lot of times we would just learn random side effects of certain drugs without even asking why these drugs would cause these side effects. So to me, that was very boring. Just memorizing information without the scientific foundation that lead to that information was just not fun for me. And as things become more clinical, it becomes more guideline and memorization heavy, which I did not like. So that's reason number 1. And the second reason why I chose not to do a residency is that when you do a residency, your field of practice becomes very narrow. You specialize in a certain area, whether it's an infectious disease or oncology or whatever other type of field. You become invested in a very particular area of medicine, which is not appealing to me because I like to learn about everything. And I like to see how everything is connected to each other. And this is going to be hard when you do a residency because you have to spend so much time learning about this one particular area that you won't even have enough time to go and learn about other areas because you're so specialized. So the restriction of just sticking to one area was not appealing to me. And that's another big reason why I chose not to do a pharmacy residency. Okay? And the third reason why I chose not to do a pharmacy residency was that I was ready to be independent. When you do a residency, it's almost like you're still in school. You're still going to be in a structured environment where your curriculum and your schedule are already made for you. You're going to have a set amount of rotations that you have to fulfill, which you really don't have any control over. And for me, learning is most fun when I have the ability to choose what I'm going to learn. I like the idea of every day being able to read whatever I want to read about. If I want to read a physics book today, I'm going to read physics today. If I want to read biology tomorrow, I'm going to read biology tomorrow. I wanted that independence of being able to learn what I wanted to learn and at my own pace. So that's the third reason why I chose not to do a residency. And the fourth reason why I chose not to do a residency is due to the hierarchy of the medicine field. One of the main things that I learned on rotations was that human ego can ruin anything. When you think about doing a residency, you would think that it would be all about just learning and trying to improve clinical skills and clinical outcomes for patients. But wherever there's a conglomeration of human beings, egos are going to fly. For too many people, it seems that it's more about chasing a title that makes you feel superior to other people. And I've seen this plenty of times. In fact, for many of you who are students, you probably encountered preceptors and rotations who are more concerned with enforcing their own power than making sure that you become more educated. I wanted to be in an environment where things were purely objective, where things are all about learning and education. Okay, so that was my fourth reason. And my fifth reason for why I did not choose to do a residency is that I had a different interest. And that interest was to create my own YouTube channel and start my own academic business. which is what I'm currently doing. My core interest is about linking the foundations of science with things we see in the real world. That is my major interest, and that's really what my channel is all about. Whenever I give you a clinical outcome, or if I give you some information about pharmacy or healthcare, I always link that information to scientific principles. Because whenever you ask the question as to what causes a certain clinical outcome, you're going to be able to find the answer to that question in the foundations of science. That's going to be your physics, biology, chemistry, physiology type courses. These are the foundational scientific courses that are responsible for all the outcomes that we see in the world. And I think that there needs to be a stronger connection between these two fields. And that is what I want to help bring forth. So I ultimately found what I truly wanted to do, and that's why I created this channel, and that's why I'm doing it. And that's the fifth reason why I chose not to do a residency, because I had something that I was more passionate about that I wanted to get done. So for those of you who are considering applying to a residency, or just considering about pursuing the field of pharmacy as a whole, hopefully this video gave you some insight and helped you to make a better decision for yourself. And of course, everybody's experience is going to be different, so you definitely want to rely more on your own experience when making a decision. But you can also use the experience of other people to sometimes gain a different perspective, okay? So let me know if this video was helpful. Let me know if you liked it. If you did, go ahead and give it a like. If you're new to this channel, welcome to Intuition. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I want you guys to like, share, and subscribe. And as always, I'll see you all in the next one. All right, bye-bye.